Memorial Shrine Arena here in Evanston, Illinois. We are just about to get underway in this top 10 team matchup with a top 10 individual matchup. It's Purdue Northwestern, first bout of 2020 for both of these two teams, and it starts at 125 with Michael D'Agostino taking on Devin Schroeder, and quickly Schroeder going for that right leg of D'Agostino. These are two of the better 125-pound wrestlers in the country. You see those rankings next to their names. D'Agostino coming in at 8th via the Flow Wrestling rankings. He's in the top 8 in all 4 major ranking sites. And Schroeder going after that left leg with D'Agostino on top, and now trying to roll him over. 2 takedown points have been awarded to Devin Schroeder. Quick start for the redshirt junior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. It comes in at 17-2 so far this season. And the riding time count has begun with Schroeder on top of D'Agostino. D'Agostino, the redshirt first year out of Palm Coast, Florida for these Northwestern Wildcats, has burst onto the scene as a contributor in what was Sebastian Rivera's place at 125 last season for Northwestern. Rivera, of course, undefeated through regular season play, won the Big Ten championship before finishing 3rd in the NCAA championships. But as of right now, Schroeder, 2-point advantage on D'Agostino, who comes in with an 11-3 record, has acquitted himself very well, finishing 2nd at the Midlands in December. A solid showing at CKLV before that as well. But right now, D'Agostino really struggling to get away from Schroeder. He's got that right leg locked up. You see now working on the hands, just staying on top of D'Agostino. Content to work to turn him over on his own. Schroeder, as his coaches give him some encouragement, still working with now 1 minute remaining in this first period. He's now amassed 1 minute and 30 of riding time, and Coach Matt Storniolo now has come to the edge of the mat, asking for something from the officials, it looks like, although he does not, certainly not animated. As Schroeder's still working on that back of D'Agostino, still trying to get himself free. And now D'Agostino does have him turned over. Or Schroeder does have him turned over, sorry. Apologies. Trying to get him on the shoulders. D'Agostino battling those shoulders up. Trying not to get pinned. He's able to spin out of it. Great action, though, from Devin Schroeder. And they do award the 4 near fall points. So Schroeder turns D'Agostino over. D'Agostino avoids the pin. But it does give the Purdue wrestler the 4 near fall points. He's got the early 6-0 advantage here as we end the first period of action. A dominating period from Devin Schroeder, the number 5 or number 7, depending on the ranking site, wrestler in the country at 125. A commanding lead from Schroeder here early on. So now D'Agostino will start on top of Schroeder. A chance to get some of that riding time back, but now the whistle goes a little bit early there. The referees are going to restart him. D'Agostino working to potentially get a little bit of that riding time back, but the way that Schroeder worked, and quickly he escapes, so the 1 escape point to Devin Schroeder. The way that Schroeder works in the first period, it's going to be a lot more than riding time that's going to be needed for Michael D'Agostino here. So D'Agostino leaning on Schroeder there. Trying to take him down as he went for the left leg, and now Schroeder jumps underneath. Devin Schroeder, the fourth, winningest wrestler on this roster during this 2019-20 season for Purdue at 17-2, as I mentioned earlier, so far this season. And he had D'Agostino in a bit of a compromising position there as both wrestlers working on each other. D'Agostino with the legs locked around the chest of Schroeder. Now Schroeder turns him over and takes him down. Another 2 for the star 125-pound wrestler from Purdue. 9-0 here as we near the end of this second period. That riding time only building for Devin Schroeder, who's got nearly a 3-minute advantage in that category. D'Agostino really struggling to get out from underneath the grip of Devin Schroeder in this opening matchup here between the number 6 and the number 8 teams in the country, according to the Flow Wrestling team rankings. Northwestern coming in at number 8, Purdue at number 6. It's the highest they've been rated this century in any of the major ranking sites. And that will do it for the second period. Schroeder still with that commanding lead, 9-0. As he tries to close it out here in the final 2-minute period, period 3. This time Schroeder will start with the advantage from on top. And Devin Schroeder cinches the waist, spinning D'Agostino over, trying to work him back onto his back. D'Agostino fighting out of it, had his shoulders down for a second. Now he has the shoulders down again. Schroeder so close to that pin, and now D'Agostino able to turn it over, turn him around, and take him down. So, great scramble there from Michael D'Agostino. Some displeasure from the Purdue coaches, but D'Agostino earns his first points of the match, cuts that lead to 9-2. Still a lot of work for Michael D'Agostino to do to get back in this. Only a minute 20 left in this third period, and Schroeder has now cinched the riding time point. As D'Agostino, even if he stays on top the rest of the match, will not make up that difference. 67 seconds to go as Schroeder just riding it out at this point with the commanding lead. Would be really tough for either player to catch up on points. Or for D'Agostino, I should say, to catch up on points. Now the whistle goes. We're going to have a reset. So the point given to Schroeder there for what looked like a call of an illegal hold on D'Agostino. It's now 10-2. Again, that riding time point coming for Schroeder, guaranteed now. So D'Agostino will need to battle to avoid at least a major decision, which would be something here. He's now working on that right leg. Schroeder holding him off. As the redshirt first year for Northwestern continues to attack that leg. Trying to wrench it around. As Schroeder works on the left leg of his own opponent. And now again the whistle comes. Again the wrestlers reset. 21 seconds to go here in this one. Schroeder, D'Agostino. Now forehead to forehead, still working. First time they've done much stand-up work here in this match. Now Schroeder leaning down on D'Agostino's neck as time expires, and that will do it. A dominant victory for Devin Schroeder, and the number 7 125-pound wrestler in the country has certainly made his case to move up a little bit more. It's a major decision for Devin Schroeder to start things off for Purdue. He takes it 11-2 over the redshirt first year for Northwestern, Michael D'Agostino, as head coach Matt Storniolo heads over to have some words with his youngster. Now we're ready for 133. This is, as we see, few of the moves that Schroeder put on D'Agostino. Some great wrestling. There was the near fall from early in that first period. That earned Schroeder a big 4 points early on and allowed him to dominate the match ultimately. As you heard over the PA there, as we head into this 133-pound match, you typically expect to see Sebastian Rivera for Northwestern after he's moved up to 133. Full-time this season for the Wildcats, but Rivera out tonight. He'll be replaced by Dylan Utterback, wrestling attached for just the second time, I should say, the junior out of Deerfield, Illinois, who has a 2-4 record this season at 133. So Utterback against Travis Ford Melton, unranked freshman out of Moni, Illinois. So two Illinois natives going up against each other, a youngster and a veteran. Ford Melton, 11-5 this season, would certainly be the favorite in this one. Plenty of hand fighting from both sides to start things off here. Ford Melton and Utterback scoping each other out, sizing each other up. Mentioned Dylan Utterback, 2-4 record this season. His lone appearance in a duel in his career was last season in the opener against North Dakota State, where he lost at 125. This season, Utterback has moved to 133 exclusively. All 6 of his bouts have taken place at that weight. And now Ford Melton spinning him over, getting on top, and that's 2-point takedown for Travis Ford Melton, local freshman out of Monet, Illinois. South suburbs. As Ford Melton continues to work. He's picked up that right hand, as his coaches urged him to, of Utterback, and now trying to control him from the edge of the mat here, from that boundary on the circle. Both players still have body parts inside the circle. No restart called for as of yet. Utterback trying to work his way out of this hold, as Ford Melton drags him towards the outside of the mat, and now they do get outside, and they're going to reset it and restart from the middle of that big N. So 2-0 Ford Melton, and again, he will start on top. Much like his teammate Schroeder in the 125-pound match, amassing plenty of riding time early here. He's already up to 45 seconds, nearly has earned that minute-long advantage already, just over halfway into the first period. Now Utterback trying to work his hands apart and is able to escape. So 1-point escape for Dylan Utterback, and he's halved that lead from Ford Melton. And Ford Melton will not get to that 1-minute riding time advantage in this first, or at least right now. He's going for another takedown, scrambling quickly and successfully. It's a second takedown for Ford Melton, and now he has earned that minute-long riding time advantage. Second takedown in this first period. As he just looked quicker than Utterback that time, just able to scramble around him and make his way on top. Quickness so important at these lower weights. 133 here. Quickest wrestlers often the one who gets the advantage in those skirmishes. And now Ford Melton again working on that left hand of Utterback, exactly what he did last time, trying to get it underneath him and turn him over. 10 seconds to go in the first period. Ford Melton still trying to work for additional points, trying not to let Utterback escape out from underneath him in the limited time left. And the first period will expire without another point scored. So another impressive first period from a Purdue wrestler. Boilermakers showing why they've earned that number 6 ranking in the nation from Flow Wrestling. It's 4-1 as we enter into the second period. The referee gives Ford Melton the option. He'll start on top. 2-minute second period, and quickly, Ford Melton willing to let Utterback get free. Another escape point for the junior. 4-2, Ford Melton leads with that riding time advantage currently secure. And some work to do for Dylan Utterback here as he tries to fight back from this deficit. Utterback trying to earn his first attached win of his Northwestern wrestling career. And Ford Melton quickly scooting underneath him. Getting that lock on his head. Both arms across and now spinning him. Trying to get under that leg, and he does earn the takedown. Again, Ford Melton just so dominant when these two are standing up so far. Has been able to take Utterback down 3 times already. Gotten him out to a 6-2 advantage. About to take that 2-minute advantage in riding time. Certainly showing why he is a very promising prospect, this true freshman. As another escape, though, for Utterback. So he's amassed all 3 points on the escapes. Better than not getting them, certainly. And he's keeping Ford Melton well within reach so far. 50 seconds to go in this second period. So for as much as it seemed like Travis Ford Melton has dominated this match in the early going, Dylan Utterback is right there to take it with a couple of offensive moves here. Utterback trying to work and now releases. And again, Ford Melton shoots, and what a takedown right there. Just too quick, too strong for Utterback. Able to scoot right underneath, and now he nearly suplexed him onto his backside right there. Utterback able to fight back enough to stay up and getting back up now, but Still Ford Melton unwilling to let him escape. 6 seconds left in the period. Ford Melton trying to stay in, trying to not allow the escape at the same time. And that'll do it for the second period. 4 takedowns, 2 in each period so far for Travis Ford Melton, and he's got that 8-3 advantage. And now Dylan Utterback will start on top with the leverage here. Ford Melton will go for the escape. Not too often you see wrestlers, especially in the Big Ten, wrestling consistently attached as a true freshman. Ford Melton is the man at 133 right now for Purdue, though, and has already seen plenty of action early in this season for the 7-1 Boilermakers. He's 11-5 on the year, as I mentioned. And Utterback gives him the escape. 9-3, Ford Melton with the advantage. And now with that significant riding time advantage that he's also got, just trying to build points towards potentially another major decision for Purdue here. You see Purdue already in the 4-0 lead. As Ford Melton again shoots that leg after the major decision from Schroeder. Ford Melton looking for another takedown. Another takedown would get him in range. He's got that left leg, both standing up. Coach is yelling instructions. Ford Melton taking his time before deciding what he wants to do, and now going after that right leg, trying to take Utterback to the ground, and he's able to do it. So the 2-point takedown, again for Ford Melton, his 5th of the matchup. And now they're out. No escape from Utterback before they got out, though. So Ford Melton will again start on top as they reset to the center. 70 seconds to go here in period number 3. Travis Ford Melton leading 11-3, closing in on another major decision victory for the Purdue Boilermakers. With that significant riding time advantage, another point already in the bag. And there's the 1-point escape for Utterback. Purdue coach is telling Ford Melton we need one more as he goes for another takedown. He's got the headlock right now, locked in on Utterback. And now the referee's called him out to reset. And trying to turn Utterback over, and he does. 2-point takedown again for Travis Ford Melton, who has just dominated his opponent in this matchup. 13-4 now he leads. And barring a miracle, Ford Melton is going to have another major decision here for the Purdue Boilermakers, who've started off this match on fire. Ford Melton flips him over. And as he works towards another takedown, the clock is going to expire on this third period. That'll do it. Travis Ford Melton, another very impressive victory, another major decision victory. 14-4, Ford Melton takes it over Utterback at 133, and Purdue takes the 8-0 advantage in the team score here. They are out to a hot start. We'll see if it continues at 141.
141 pounds for Purdue, Parker Phileas. And please welcome from Northwestern, a redshirt senior from Winnetka, Illinois, Alec McKenna.
Alec McKenna out for the Wildcats. The redshirt senior out of Winnetka, Illinois. He's just 2-3 on the season. 141, a weight the Wildcats have struggled at for a while. McKenna trying to turn that around in his final season in Evanston. And he's taking on Parker Phileas, the redshirt sophomore out of Montana, who has been ranked in both open mat and track wrestling, though not in the polls done by Intermat and Flow Wrestling. Both guys attacking the upper bodies so far. Phileas, more experienced wrestler this season at least, has gotten himself to a 12-3 record in plenty of action this season. Mentioned earlier, Purdue 7-1 in duels so far. have competed in more of them than most teams. Northwestern, just for example, just 2-1 in those duels thus far this season. Both teams have appeared at CKLV and at Midlands. The Boilermakers finished 5th and 6th, respectively, whereas the Wildcats placed 9th in both competitions. Now McKenna working on that leg, a chance to turn him around. And after the foot was released by Phileas, it's a 2-point takedown for Alec McKenna. It's Northwestern's only their 2nd takedown of the evening so far, after D'Agostino in that first match got one far too late against Devin Schroeder. And now McKenna working on that right leg of Phileas. He's got his legs locked around the left leg. Trying to use the advantage here, as he's now locking up the right arm. Keeping Phileas separated, trying to get him back onto his back. And that time Phileas tried to turn him over. McKenna said no thank you. McKenna amassing a significant riding time advantage of his own. Trying to use that leverage to make something happen here against Parker Phileas. Here, 141, Northwestern sure could use a turnaround victory after 2 major decision losses at both 125 and 133. Now McKenna. Still working on Phileas. Under a minute to go now in this first period. Turning him over now, working on the right leg. He had a hold of it for a second there. And now the referee's counting for potential near fall points, as McKenna does have Phileas turned over, and he gets through the full count. Whistle goes. It's 4 near fall points for Alec McKenna. What a job by McKenna, wrestling Phileas all the way to the outside of the circle right there and earning those 4 crucial near fall points. You see the replay right here, working on that left shoulder of Phileas and then turning him over with those shoulders close to the mat. And got him nearly parallel when the ref started counting. A commanding 6-0 lead here early on for the redshirt senior. McKenna still on top, still building that riding time advantage. Now up to nearly 2 minutes of it. What a first period it's been for the redshirt senior. Got a hold of that right arm, does Alec McKenna. And there goes the horn at the end of the first period. Alec McKenna, dominant performance, 6-0 lead over Parker Phileas. Has that impressive 12-3 record so far this season. McKenna, who does not have a dual win to his credit yet this season. Yet this season. He's 0-1 in duels so far. As the two now standing up, both working from the middle of the mat. Both guys battling for position. As finally McKenna shoots for that takedown. He's got a hold of that left leg. And now trying to turn as Phileas holds onto the backside for dear life. McKenna trying to work through here as Phileas has that ankle in a hold. But now the shoulder's nearly down for Parker Phileas. And it's 2 points. 2 near fall points for Alec McKenna. Phileas just couldn't quite keep his shoulders up. That left shoulder drifting dangerously close to the mat. And that earned the 2 near fall points. And now the referee blows it dead. He's going to reset it in the middle. And there it is. You see the shoulder just slipped out there from Phileas. Got a little bit too close to the mat. That's where the 2 points came. 8-0 now. The advantage for Northwestern's Alec McKenna as he's trying to earn a major decision of his own. And now the referees are going to talk it over here. Two-minute riding time advantage already for McKenna as the referees are going to look at the monitors here for replay of that last sequence. Not sure precisely what they're looking at. Here we'll see the replay. You can see for yourself here. Filius has a hold of that ankle. Shoulders come close to the ground. You can see the referee counting and then awarding the near fall points. And then Filius spinning McKenna back over, still with a hold of that ankle. And right here about is when the referee called a stop to things, with Filius barely moving. And now reaching back for that left leg. So it was at that point that the referees whistled it. And we're set to bring the wrestlers back together in the middle of that end. But apparently one of them saw something. Now they're going to look at the monitors to check it out. There was no challenge issued by either coach. Both coaches get one challenge per duel. Get those big foam bricks that they get to toss into the middle. Neither coach used it. Referees come back from the monitors. Doesn't look like they saw anything new. Maybe just looking at a timing thing, because when they went to the monitors, the riding time was only at 2 minutes. And now it's back to 2:11, so potentially just a check on that. Either way, Alec McKenna's riding time advantage has been heightened. And he goes right back to work on Filius, who nearly had McKenna's shoulders on the ground there for a second. He's got the legs wrapped around the front of Filius, who's in a tough position right here. McKenna's still working. Filius trying to lean backwards on him. Just scrambling to work his way down, and now he gets the takedown. So great job by Parker Filius to work back and then spin around. And McKenna able to slip out of there before he could really be caught in a compromising position, but still the 2-point takedown awarded to Parker Filius. That'll do it for the second period. So a big 2 points at the end of the period for Filius to keep himself close to it. But Alec McKenna with that commanding 8-2 advantage, and has nearly locked up that riding time point as well. After the takedown, Filius gonna start back on top here in the third period. Trying to keep McKenna from the escape and potentially eat into that riding time. But he's gonna need to do a lot more than that in order to come away with the victory here. Filius was looking for a hold of that left hand of McKenna, and now working back. Now back up to a more neutral position here, with Filius just using that body weight to make McKenna work out from under there. Of course, not the time to be hit with a stall call, so McKenna has to keep working. Too much time left in this third period as Filius continues to eat into that riding time number. McKenna still just trying valiantly to get out from under Filius. The referee signals to him, McKenna that is. And still McKenna allowing Filius to remain on top of him. Squirming out underneath there, just trying to get some of that leverage back that he lost. Filius earns a point. Still working on McKenna from the backside. And he's managed to take away that riding time point, but as time expires, it will still be a decision win at 141 for Alec McKenna. His first dual win of the season, and McKenna earns a big 3 points for Northwestern here at 141. They've eaten into this Purdue lead a little bit. 8-3 Boilermakers now as we head to 149.
Now wrestling at 149 pounds for Purdue, Nate Limix. And please welcome redshirt junior from Fremont, California, Eric Yang.
Another newcomer for the Cats here in terms of wrestling attached. It's Eric Yang out of Fremont, California, the redshirt junior. 4-3 on the season. And he will be wrestling at 149 in place of the typical wrestler at this weight for Northwestern, Yaya Thomas, who has been scratched today. Thomas, top 15 in all 4 rankings at 149. Makes way for Yang. And he's taking on Nate Limix, the redshirt senior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, who is in place of another top 15 wrestler at this weight class, Griffin Perriott, who has also been scratched today. So 2 guys who are not accustomed to wrestling in duels. And the whistle goes with both guys going to the outside against Purdue. Still no points on the board, of course. For that first call against the Boilermakers, as Yang works back against Limix. 2 veteran wrestlers here, the redshirt senior against the redshirt junior. Limix 7-5 so far this season. 2 guys who have not done much attached wrestling this season or in their respective careers. Still both guys working, trying to get the upper hand here near the middle of the circle. As Yang, hand fighting still with Limix. Now Limix shoots that right leg. Yang trying to fight out of it. He's got a hold of it and now getting into that left leg with his own leg, but Yang does well to scramble away. Get back on top as Limix still working on the left leg. Now Northwestern calling for the 2-point takedown for Yang. It initially looked like Limix had the upper hand, but now Yang working back into him. Limix still has that left leg of Yang trapped in right in front of my broadcast position here. The referees have a close eye on things as Yang has that left leg wrapped around the neck. Now a bit of a more neutral position as it looked like Yang had the upper hand for a second there, and now it's turned over, and it is going to be a 2-point takedown for Nate Limix. First points of the match go the Purdue wrestlers' way. Looked for moments like either guy would be able to get that takedown call as Limix tosses Yang to the ground quickly. Both wrestlers out of play, and they'll restart in the middle. So Limix has already had the stalling warning put on him, but he does now have the 2-point advantage late in the first period after that contentious takedown that Yang nearly had. Limix ended up getting, and now again, just using that body weight, using that strength to keep Yang limited underneath him. Not willing to give up that escape point this late in the first period, and he will not be doing it. 29 seconds of riding time amassed by Nate Limix, and he leads 2-0 after the first period, the closest first period we've had in any of the 4 matches that we've seen thus far in this duel. Both squads beginning Big Ten play here. For each, it's the first duel of 2020. For each, it's the first wrestling action of 2020, with Midlands wrapping up right around the new year. Now the officials just whistling for a restart. Making sure the timing is correct, it looks like. And we'll start on top. Good chance to get back some of that riding time. Redshirt junior, as I mentioned, out of Fremont, California. One of only a couple of Wildcats who is not a Midwest product. As Yang continues to work. Got himself wrapped around the midsection with his left leg in a pretty compromising position there. But still Yang with that body weight hanging all over him, and he works him back to the ground. Now they're outside, but great job by Eric Yang right there, the redshirt junior, to stay on top of Nate Limix, who is doing his best to get out. Yang, who's riding a 4-match winning streak, as he nearly brings him back down. Won his last 4 bouts of 2019, all at the Lindenwood Open, wrestling unattached. That's what's got him to this 4-3 record. It's only the 3rd time he's wrestled in a duel, as Yang continuing to work back up top, and finally the escape comes from Limix. So Nate Limix able to get out of it. Not until Yang has completely flipped riding time, though. He's got 42 seconds of that now. Only 18 seconds away from that potential point, but still Nate Limix with the 3-0 advantage after the escape. Yang is 1-1 in his dual career, with a forfeit win, his only win last season against Cal Poly at 157. It's the first time he's wrestling in a duel at 149, his typical weight. Yang blinking some sweat out of his eye, still working here with 10 seconds left in the second period. Neither wrestler willing to give up much, though, and they'll just hold it out. So the 3-0 advantage from Nate Limix will carry into the third period, with Eric Yang needing to make up some ground to potentially earn another win for Northwestern in this matchup of 2 unranked wrestlers at 149. Limix starting on top. Yang needs this escape right here as they work to the boundary. Limix still on top. And now they're outside. The referee gonna reset him back into the center. It's Eric Yang. Needs to get the escape point and then needs a takedown in order to potentially force an extra session or win it in regulation here against Limix. Been a low-scoring matchup. Most of the time spent so far with both guys just trying to fight out of holds, especially in these latter 2 periods. And now Limix completely on Yang's back, and Yang spins away, and he's got that escape point. Now he needs a takedown. Yang has a minute 20 to work. Looking unlikely that either guy gets the riding time point here. A takedown still could be decisive, though. Yang shoots the leg. Limix sprawls, great defense. Keeping Yang in his sights. Did a great job, did the redshirt senior right there, of keeping control. Yang still working for something. Limix just defensive wrestling at this point, not willing to give up that advantage, but now he goes after that right leg. So Limix working on something of his own. Nate Limix not willing to just sit there and wait for Eric Yang to attack him. Going after that right leg, torquing it. Yang's arm locked in there, trying to get it out, and trying to slide outside. The Purdue coach is looking for the stall call against Yang right there. Initially, it was called as not the fault of either, and now the stall call does go against Yang. It's a warning, though, so no point given so far. Still 3-1. Still Eric Yang needs a takedown. He's got 15 seconds to get it. Yang and Limix locked up. Yang with a desperation swipe, nothing doing. He's got to make it happen with 7 seconds now. Yang just has to try his best. Limix doing so well to fend him off. in this low-scoring matchup. And Nate Limex exhaustedly fights him out, and that will do it. So it wasn't pretty, but a decision win for Nate Limex. A big one for the redshirt senior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan at 149. And that gives Purdue the 11-3 lead on the duel as a whole as we head to 157 and one of the marquee matchups of tonight.
Now wrestling at 100.
If you've been watching, this is likely the one you've been waiting for. It's the unanimous number one at 157. He hasn't wrestled in a month. He's back. It's Ryan Deacon, folks, making his first return to action since December 7th at the Midlands. It's been more than a month since Deacon, or since at CKLV, pardon me. It's been more than a month since Deacon wrestled. He won the CKLV for the second year in a row, decided to sit out the Midlands, give himself some extra rest heading into the stretch of Big Ten play, and now Deacon trying to protect that unanimous number one ranking that he has earned for the first time in his career following an incredible showing at CKLV, and he's doing it against a very good opponent in Kendall Coleman. Coleman, just a redshirt freshman out of South Holland, Illinois, local kid, but ranked 6th in the nation by Flow Wrestling. It's the first time these two have faced each other, and it's going to be a test for both. Quickly, Deacon, though, on top, using his weight on top of Coleman as he looks for the early takedown. Ryan Deacon, the redshirt junior out of Broomfield, Colorado, who was an All-American last year, finished 6th in the nation at 157 at the NCAA championships. And he has really come into his own at this weight. Deacon, one of the best pound-for-pound wrestlers in the country. And as I mentioned, unanimously number one at 157, and now both guys slip out of bounds. It'll be a reset. No fault given, no stall call coming there. Now Deacon and Coleman reset. Coleman out of South Holland. If that town sounds familiar to any Northwestern fans out there. Same hometown as former Northwestern star forward Vic Law. One of the key cogs in getting Northwestern men's basketball back to the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. Coleman from South Holland as well. Still battling in that middle with Deacon. Both guys trying to use quickness, and Deacon, great takedown defense right there. Not letting Coleman go after his legs. And both guys stand back up. Locked in there. Near the boundary with Deacon fading out and now fights his way back in. Halfway through this first period, still no scoring. Deacon feeling him out still. And now Coleman wrestles him away. Both guys so powerful, so quick in the middle of that mat. Ryan Deacon, undefeated on the season. Redshirt junior out of Broomfield, Colorado, stands at 8-0. As I mentioned, hasn't wrestled in more than a month. Great bout to get back in it before another top 5 matchup this weekend at Penn State for Deacon, but Coleman giving him trouble so far. And now Deacon going for the leg. Coleman tries to slip back over the top of him. Deacon captures that right leg too quickly for Coleman to get away, and he takes him down. And now both guys go sprawling. Deacon still working from on top. Coleman was trying for that quick escape, trying not to let Deacon build up any riding time, and even more importantly, build up any time just laying and weighing himself on top of Coleman. A lot of body weight on there for the redshirt freshman to deal with. So the crucial first takedown goes the way of Deacon. And with 20 seconds left in the period, he looks committed to riding it out from up top. Neither guy with much activity here as they are right at the edge of that boundary. Still haven't seen a stall call or any motion from the officials so far. With Deacon still battling for Coleman's hands, and they're going to let it play out. So that's the end of period number one. It took him a little while, but Ryan Deacon gets it going in time to take that 2-0 advantage heading into the second period, where he will start on top. Well, pardon me, Coleman. Start from the position. A chance to get back some of that riding time as Deacon with the 45-second advantage right now. As Deacon trying for that quick escape, working on that right hand, and quickly slips away from Kendall Coleman. Coleman was on top for just 3 seconds before Deacon slipped out the back, and he's got the 3-0 advantage now after the escape point. Both guys still sizing each other up. Nobody willing to make the move until Deacon does. Grabs both legs and just takes down Coleman. He worked through the upper body so well there that Coleman was just too off balance to do anything. And still Deacon, now he's got the shoulders near to the ground. The referee counting. We're going to see, well, it looked like we were going to see the full near fall points given. Coleman able to get that right shoulder up just in time. As of now, only 2 near fall points potentially being awarded. And now Deacon's got those shoulders close to the mat again, looking for the pin. Coleman able to slip out of it, and it will be 4 near fall points for Ryan Deacon. Deacon just so quick, so slippery, willing to make that move in a flash. If you take your mind off it for even a second, he's going to get you. That's why he's the #1 wrestler at this weight in the country. Deacon just relentless from on top, not letting Coleman have anything in there. Dominant period for Ryan Deacon. It was built to that 9-0 lead. Closing in on a major decision win, and he's looking for more. Deacon still on top. As Coleman forces the way to the boundary. Still the feet inside the circle. As Coleman continues to slide towards the outside. And now they're out of there. The referees decided not to give the stall call against Coleman. And with just 8 seconds left, Deacon goes back on top. Coleman going to ride it out from underneath Deacon, and that'll do it for a dominant second period here. Ryan Deacon, 9-0 advantage, more than 2 minutes of riding time in front. Right now he's got that major decision, potentially could be closing in on the tech fall. And we'll just see what this third period has in store. Deacon with the red ankle bands out of Northwestern, the home team here against Purdue. Northwestern's only got 3 home dates left after this one. In the grueling Big Ten play as Deacon again, so quick on that takedown. Just swings Coleman to the ground. And it's 11-0 now, the lead. Near fall here could be disastrous for Coleman. As at this point, he's just trying not to lose too many points for his team. Ryan Deacon at 8-0 this season has only been seriously challenged a couple of times, and it's not going to happen here tonight. With that 11-0 lead, still working on Coleman. Matt Storniolo asking for that stall call on the outside. With Deacon still working with plenty of advantage on Coleman. And again, the 2 wrestlers slip outside the circle. .58 seconds to go here. Deacon long ago amassed the unbeatable amount of riding time. Now just trying to get that advantage to 15, enough for a tech fall. The only barrier he has less to get against Coleman here. .11-0 Deacon as he wraps that right arm behind Coleman's back, working back onto his shoulders, and now the count with Deacon's shoulders close to the ground. Going the other way, Deacon's got to lock in there, and the referee shaking his head. It's going to be 2 near fall points for Deacon as he's still working. Deacon needs a couple more points here with 5 seconds to go, trying to work him back onto his back once again as he's closing in, but not going to be able to get there. It's a dominant victory for Ryan Deacon. Not the tech fall he wanted, but it's a significant major decision victory. 14-0, Ryan Deacon takes it. in a dominant performance for the unanimous #1 wrestler in the country at 157 over the #8 wrestler in the country at that ranking, Kendall Coleman. And you just watch here how dominant Deacon was. He's got Coleman locked up there with that early takedown, then right back. After restart, working right back onto that right leg. This is also in the first period. Deacon just stalking, so quick to make that move, and you see there the second Coleman gets off balance, it's over. And here the shoulders slipping close to the mat for Coleman. He was able to slip out of it, but only for so long. Again, Deacon just ferocious, working Coleman onto his back all match long. Two top 10 teams here. You got so many wrestlers who, you know, whether or not they're ranked, have competed against the best of the best for their entire career. And starting with a great example here, the senior out of Homer Glen, Illinois for Northwestern, Shane Oster, who has really come into his own this season, has had a phenomenal start to the year. He's ranked 18th by Flow Wrestling here at 165. And Oster moving up weight classes this season. Only 8-7 on that record, but he's faced, like I said, some of the best in the country and has really acquitted himself well thus far this season. He's going to go up against Tanner Webster for Purdue, redshirt sophomore out of Crawfordsville, Indiana.
And immediately we see a high crotch from Purdue. Shane's really talented in this position. Shane Oster tying up ankles. Purdue's looking to get weight on Oster's head and turn into it for a takedown.
Oster battling it out quickly with Webster. It's a stalemate call made by the referee. Stands him back up. These two are a lot quicker to action than in some of the matchups we saw earlier. And you can still see Oster, though he's been at 165 for a while now, still looks at times to be at a bit of a physical disadvantage. But he's been able to work through that really successfully this season. And again, back to that same position for the most part here, very quickly.
As you can see right now, Shane just got both legs to one side. He's looking to clear his ankle. Now he's getting weight on the far ankle, and we see a takedown. Shane's really talented in that position. He doesn't stop wrestling there, and he does a good job of putting weight on the guy, keeping his weight into him, even in a compromising position with feet tied up.
You said it there, Matt. Just not stopping wrestling. It looked like for a second Webster let up, and Oster just used that to his advantage, kept working through, and able to earn that crucial first takedown. So the 2-0 advantage for Oster, about halfway through this first period. Still working with control of Webster. Oster, one of 8 Illinois native wrestlers between these two teams in terms of the lineups today. As Webster able to get back to his feet and now able to earn that escape point. So it took him a while, 50 seconds of riding time earned by Oster, but Webster able to get out of there and earn that escape point. And it's safe to say here the Wildcats really need a victory at 165, given what Purdue has coming down the pipe. Northwestern currently trailing 11-7. If they want a path to a win today, a win from Oster would be crucial.
This match is looking like it's going to happen. Shane's doing a good job right now, controlling the inside tie, getting to his underhook, forcing Purdue to wrestle here. He's really talented from the underhook. You see him digging in on both sides here, controlling the center of the mat really well, even if he's at a physical disadvantage.
Going for the leg right there was Webster. But Oster,
our third time back.
Yeah,
in this
right
position.
back in that spot. You know, it's clearly something, like you said, Matt, that Purdue wants to be doing here, but Oster has just been able to fight out of that really well, and that'll end the first period. Oster with that 2-1 lead, but he really did control that period for the most part.
Yeah, obviously we don't want guys in on our legs, but being able to wrestle from there, it's going to happen eventually. Being comfortable in those funky positions and continuing to wrestle through them, as we saw. That's the reason Shane scored in the second time in that position. He was relentless in there and continued to drive into him. caught a far ankle, and eventually got the guy to his hip. So he's doing a really good job this match. We're looking for a big ride here. We've got a minute of riding time, so 1 point for Shane Oster right now if he can hold it.
Yeah, Oster's got that riding time advantage thanks to starting on top here in the second period. And Purdue coaches and fans imploring Webster to get up. Unfortunately, it's just not that easy. Oster doing a great job right now of maintaining control.
Yeah, you can see he's got all his weight on his toes, and he's driving, using his legs on top, driving.
And now Oster's got him locked up here. Dangerous position for Tanner Webster, and he's just able to scramble loose from it. Now the brick comes in. I think Coach Matt Storniolo wanted a near fall call there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt.
I think he's definitely looking for the near fall.
That's the first challenge brick we've seen. We saw the officials go to the monitor earlier to check out some timing, but it is the first challenge that we've seen come out. Storniolo threw it out there immediately. And here we see the replay right here on our monitor. Oster turned him over, had his shoulders right near the mat. And what do you see there, Matt? Do you think that should have been a near fall?
I do. I think the ref got into position a little bit late, and he was hesitant to start the count. The angle wasn't great. It's hard to see whether it broke 90 or not, but I'm sure we're gonna get a different. I hope we get a different angle. I hope they have a different angle.
Yeah, they do have all the angles to work with over there. And when you say, and here's another one right here. So when you say broke 90, what are you looking at here, Matt?
His shoulders. If you have a perpendicular line going up from the mat, Purdue's shoulders, we're looking for them to pass 90 degrees, and Shane needs to hold them there.
And it certainly looked like they passed 90 degrees, but they're going to confirm the call on the mat. So not even standing, they say no near fall. What I'm guessing they're saying there wasn't enough control from Oster, to count it out. So no near fall despite the challenge from Coach Matt Storniolo. Oster stays on top, right back to that same spot, and now the shoulders do come down, and the count began right there. Northwestern coaches imploring the count to continue. It did not. Oster still wrapped around the shoulders of Webster right there. The count didn't continue long enough, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's just the reality of a subjective sport like wrestling. Referee, it's not like soccer where if the ball goes over the line, it's a goal. It's very much up to the refs and how they interpret the rules. Some refs would have been quick to count there and give near fall, but that's just what we're working with tonight. And I think Shane needs to. He can definitely cinch it up a little bit tighter from the get-go on these tilts.
And Oster, who had done a great job of keeping himself on top of Webster, finally gives up that escape point with 20 seconds to go in the second period. So Webster has it tied up. Oster has nearly clinched that riding time advantage, though. That's huge in a match this close. Yeah. And now they're just going to ride it out here into the third period. So 2-2, but really as of right now, Oster in control. Webster needs to either ride him out this entire next period or get a takedown to turn things around here.
So it is Shane's choice, and I could have predicted he was going to pick bottom. It makes sense here. Get a point for an escape and work towards a takedown to clinch this match.
So Oster trying to work out and into the escape here. Quickly turns himself onto the leg of Webster.
So yeah, Shane did a great job there. He recognized the position, looked for the reversal, and there it is.
And there it is. So not just an escape for Oster, the 2-point reversal. He'll do you one better right there. Now Oster in complete control as he's making even more of that riding time advantage here.
Yeah, and what's working
he has now, pardon me, Matt, clinched that riding time point. So 4-2, essentially 5-2 if you count that point in there for Oster. He is in full control of this one.
Yes, and I think as Northwestern wrestler, we're looking for some near fall here to get the major decision. That's going to be a big momentum shift for us.
And Oster has a chance at it.
He does have a chance.
Would need to get that near fall, like you said. He's got a minute to do it. And meanwhile, Webster would need an escape and then a takedown to potentially tie things up at the end of this period. That's looking unlikely. Webster has struggled all match long with trying to get out from under Oster when Shane Oster has been on top. he has stayed on top. And
We have to
now-
give it to him, though. He is, working towards the base and working to his feet. I don't think stalling is really a question in this match.
Yeah, we haven't seen a warning on either side, and really hasn't been anything to warrant it, like you said.
There's a lot of pressure there. 2 legs in by Shane Oster. There's going to be a time to turn him. It's now. 12 seconds.
Oster would have to go quick. He's got the forearm working on the head. But Tanner Webster able to hold him off, at least from the major decision. Still, though, a dominant decision win from Shane Oster. The score line might not show it, but Oster controlled that entire match, and he takes the 5-2 win and a decision victory for Northwestern. They now trail Purdue 11-10. And here comes one of the most impressive wrestlers in the country in Dylan Leidy at 174, the unanimous number 4 wrestler in what is a pretty stacked weight class all across the country. And Leidy will take on Tyler Moreland, the redshirt sophomore out of Brighton, Michigan for the Wildcats.
Please welcome a redshirt sophomore from Brighton,
Moreland.
Michigan, Tyler Moreland.
He comes in ranked 30th by Flow Wrestling at this class. Like I said, Leidy the unanimous number 4, as we see some of the highlights from Shane Oster's victory right there. Just turning him over that time, earning that first takedown. And then here in the middle of the mat, that was the reversal right there that we saw, cut off right before the end, but that's how Oster got 4 out of those 5 points. And now here we go, Moreland and Leidy ready to get it on. Dylan Leidy, as I mentioned, still undefeated at 20-0 this season. He becomes one of just 8 wrestlers in the past 10 years, back in December, to win both CKLV and the Midlands. Really impressive season so far for Leidy, and it's a tough matchup for Tyler Moreland.
Absolutely. And right now we notice both guys really just have great positioning. Neither of them have come out of their stance, and they're working in a good hand fight right here. Ty is inside control, pressuring on the edge of the mat. Doing a great job cutting off his angle there, not letting Purdue circle his butt to the center.
Leidy still trying to get position on Moreland here. Like you said, Moreland fighting him off successfully so far.
See a shot attempt by Ty. Doing a good job getting. He realized he wasn't going to get it, and he retreated back into a good position to where he could defend.
Leidy, not a guy you want to overextend against. Very dangerous from just about any spot on the mat. 2 guys working towards the boundary. Both looking very patient so far, waiting for their chance. Moreland, as I mentioned, in his 3rd year in Evanston, whereas Leidy, the ultimate vet, 5th-year senior, has seen a lot of wrestling, and like Purdue's entire team this season, they've all seen plenty of wrestling so far this year, with that 7-1 dual record, and the 2 tournaments, the CKLV and the Midlands, that they competed at. Mentioned earlier, Northwestern finished 9th at both. Purdue finished 5th at CKLV and 6th at the Midlands. Impressive showings from the Boilermakers.
Yeah, we've just been engaged in a pretty awesome hand fight these past, 2.5 minutes. Both wrestlers, again, staying in great position, working to control the center of the mat, and get into their snaps and offense. In order to win this match, we're going to need to see a takedown. We've got a good flurry right here. Leidy had great control of the underhook there, working towards the leg, but Ty did a great job of circling out of it, keeping in good position and keeping his head on it and moving into him. That's the end of the first period, 0-0.
It's the first time we've seen a scoreless first period.
Absolutely, yeah.
All day. But like you said, really impressive hand fighting all the way through there. Now Moreland going to start from underneath. Chance to get would be a crucial escape here. And he tried to fight through it immediately, but Leidy stays on top.
Did a great job staying on his feet there. Leidy being resilient in that position, driving him out.
Yeah, and Leidy just staying on top. It looked like Moreland was going to be able to slip out the back a couple of times there. But Dylan Leidy's hands just so quick, able to stay with him the whole way.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of power. Feet driving to the mat. Looked like Ty was going to get an escape there, but Leidy did a really good job staying in front of him and continuing to drive forward.
This time Moreland a little bit slower as he tries to get out, and now Leidy has a little bit more control. Moreland able to get to his feet. Now just has to break the hands, and again they slide outside.
Leidy has to be careful, pushing him straight out like that.
Yeah.
Warrants a stall call.
Yeah, it's twice we've seen it now where, you know, if the referee rules that Leidy just pushing him out for no other reason than to get that reset in the middle, that does in fact warrant the stall call, but neither time has a stall warning been given, and now Moreland even quicker to get up right here, and again, Leidy just scrambling to stay on top, taking that left leg out from underneath him.
Tyler's doing a really good job of keeping his knees under him, even when he's getting returned. It allows him to get back to his feet really quickly, and on the other hand, Leidy's also doing a really good job of being persistent and wrestling through each position, even when, you know, he doesn't have a lot of control.
And still, Moreland trying to get this escape. Leidy building some riding time, though, not without consequence. And it's the type of matchup where a riding time point could be invaluable. For the fourth time, Tyler Moreland trying to work out of that grasp from the middle of the floor. And again, he's nearly out, and now scrambling out of there, and it is Moreland. It is Moreland with that first point. Great job of Moreland being relentless, just not giving up until he got that escape.
And just under.
Yeah, just under that minute could be very important with how much hand fighting we saw in that first period. You know, often you expect to see more riding time with so much time left in a match, but you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a really important period here, finishing out these last 50 seconds. This is a time where either wrestler can wear out his opponent by getting in a good hand fight and getting to their attacks. We haven't seen too many shots this match. And that's one thing I think that's going to be a determining factor in this third period.
We are looking at what could potentially be a massive upset. Tyler Moreland has come out here with a vengeance, working through that entire 3 minutes of hand fighting in the first period, working 4 times until he finally got the escape here at the beginning of the second. Now 15 seconds away from heading into the third with a 1-0 lead. Leidy just trying to find some angle to shoot some kind of takedown on Moreland. He hasn't found it so far. And that'll do it. So Dylan Leidy's still looking for answers. We head into the final period with Moreland that 1-0 advantage. And now the all-important start to this third period will determine a lot here. Leidy with a chance to tie things up with an escape. Moreland with a chance to cancel out some of that riding time. And the escape comes quickly instead.
It's a really great first move. Just a quick stand-up and a great cut. And it's going to come down to a takedown here. We'll be going to overtime. You know, both wrestlers need to stay in good position and use their ties to get to attacks. We've seen a lot of great snaps. We've seen a lot of great hand fighting, but not too many attacks off it. And that's going to be the big difference.
And there is the stall call right there. They got Moreland for backing out. So the stall warning and a second stall on Moreland would be catastrophic this late in the match. 90 seconds to go. Like you said, Matt, a takedown at this juncture likely wins it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Otherwise, we'd be heading into an extra session. Neither guy has the minute of riding time. And to add more to his 53-second total, Leidy would need to get that takedown. Both guys scrambling, and they're going to call a second stall. Northwestern side can't believe it. But that is a crucial call against Tyler Moreland. 2 straight stalls, and he gives up the point. Now it's Moreland who's chasing. 2-1, Leidy leads.
really doesn't change anything for Ty. We needed a takedown at the beginning of this period, and we're going to need it just as much now. He's doing a really good job of snapping, clearing Leidy's ties. One thing is the underhook, which he just cleared. Leidy seems to be very talented from that position, and we need to be clearing it and moving towards an attack of our own.
Moreland's
Circling from the edge here. That's one, you know.
Yeah, still working. He knows he needs a takedown. He's got 40 seconds to get it. Nothing else matters right now for Tyler Moreland. Again, Leidy fighting underneath. Moreland still scrambling. And you can see both these guys just have been battling up top this whole match. The fatigue starting to show. Whoever's got more left in the legs might be the one who takes it. And Purdue wanted another call right there against Moreland for the stall. He's got 10 seconds now to get a takedown. Moreland just trying to work underneath. Leidy's defense is too strong. And that'll do it. So a hard-fought defensive match, and you can see Tyler Moreland, both of these guys just exhausted. It was a heck of a bout, but Dylan Leidy escapes, keeps his undefeated record intact, and earns the decision victory. And man, did he earn it at 174. What a fight Tyler Moreland gave him. But Purdue takes that 14-10 advantage. Just
a really solid match all around. You know, we saw a really great hand fight. We saw good re-attacks, you know, good ride, good mat returns. You know, kudos to Purdue for, you know, wrestling a really solid match. So there weren't many positions where Leidy was out of position. So yeah, solid win. But also, you know, we saw a great pace throughout the entire match. Really, neither guy got tired. Neither guy, even though there were 2 stalling calls against Tyler, those were from out of bounds, not from not wrestling.
Right, exactly. The guys were fighting the entire way through. There was nothing. Exactly.
So just a really good wrestling match there. We've got another great one here with Jack Jessen, a redshirt freshman out of Illinois, one of the 8 wrestlers in this duel from this home state.
184. And he's taking on an Iowa native in Max Lyon out of Dyersville, Iowa. 2 very interesting wrestlers at 184 right here, both on the fringes of the rankings. Jessen has had his moments so far this season, standing at 10-9, and Lyon at 12-7 himself. So 2 guys that have seen a lot of action this year, certainly tested at this weight. And this is a critical juncture in the duel. Only 3 bouts left. Northwestern, again, needs those points with 2 tough matchups coming.
Right now it looks like eerily similar to the previous match. We've got, you know, a pretty intense hand fight going here. You've got to see some shots early and often in this match. And there we get our first. Jack Jessen with a really great job keeping his hips heavy there. Looking for a re-attack here. Lyon digging an underhook.
So Jessen, this is successful sprawl, able to defend that takedown attempt. Stand back up. Like you said, a lot like that last match we saw. Only a few real shots early on in that one. And again, going for it was Lyon. Again, Jessen works out of it, and now going for those legs, and what a takedown by Jessen. Just when it looked like Lyon was going to slip away from him, he grabs onto those legs. And a huge takedown for Jack Jessen. Let's look at the replay right here.
Yeah, it looks like he went inside
got with
trip,
the left leg,
down to a low double, finishing that on the edge.
That just looked pretty right there from Jack Jessen, like you said.
There's a beautiful takedown. That's going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. And that came from working upper body, keeping him on the edge. We'll see quite a bit more of that from Jack Jessen in this match. Underhooks, over-under positions, working to takedowns.
So quickly, Lyon gets the escape, but the 2-1 lead for Jessen on the big takedown.
And there's time for another for either guy.
Got 50 seconds to work still in this first period. Time for plenty to happen. Lots of hand fighting still, and a shot that time from Lyon. And again, Jessen defends it.
He's got a lot of power in his legs, and it's really tough to get through those hips. It's going to take either a sweeping shot or to catch him off guard. And knowing Jack's position, both those things are hard to do. Again, he's doing a good job of staying in his stance, closing the gap. Hands down, ready to defend. I think that's the biggest thing. The reason those 3 attacks were unsuccessful for Lyon was because Jack's hands were down and his hips were ready to go back.
Looks like they're just going to wait it out a little bit as Lyon jabs in a couple times, but that'll do it for this first period. Jack Jessen earns the takedown, and he takes the 2-1 advantage. First takedown we've seen since 165. We didn't have a takedown last match. And this bout, Jessen with the early 2-1 advantage. He'll start on top here in the second. Northwestern without 2 of their better wrestlers today, and Yaya Thomas and Sebastian Rivera have put up plenty of fights so far. Here at 184, Jack Jessen looking for another crucial win to close this gap or even potentially tie it, but Max Lyon with the quick escape to start the second period. And it's even at 2. Instructions being called out from the sidelines as both guys continue to hand fight. Again, Lyon shoots in. And finally able to earn that leg of Jack Jessen, and he gets the takedown. So Max Lyon tried 4 or 5 times and finally able to get into that left leg.
I think the reason it worked there was because he put 2 together. He went to that sweeps angle. Jessen was able to circle out of it. Then he went to it again. Jessen just a little bit off balance there.
And now Jessen's shoulders perilously close to the mat. We saw a near fall count start. Again, the referee slow to continue that count. No near fall points awarded.
Lyon on Jessen's leg right now, about to give up a stall call.
And Northwestern coaches at least calling for that stall call. And now Jessen working from on top of Lyon. And there's still, the coach is kind of going back and forth from the outside here. Now the whistle comes, and the referees are going to talk about this. You said, Matt, going for that stall call right when they got into that spot. Referees talking about what they saw. What did you see there?
I think the rule is if you split your hands, the count ends. And I think Lyon was very strategic with the timing on, the count of 4. He was listening for the rescue to split his hands and then relock. Rules have loopholes. Smart wrestling on Lyon's part. I think an unfortunate call for Northwestern on the stalemate.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Jack needs to build the base here, get back to that position. What was working for him was when his feet were in the mat, he was driving, he was looking for an escape. We need to see that in the last 15 of this period.
So now Lyon, even though things are pretty neutral before, still was adding to that riding time, and he's about to cross a minute of it, just has. As we head into the end of the second period, and a nice period for Max Lyon. Using a cagey knowledge of the rules, like you said, Matt, able to stay on top and able to earn a 4-2 advantage here heading into the third. It's the choice of Jessen, and he wants to start standing up.
Yeah, that's going to be the call for this match. Makes the most sense after that period of riding time.
Yeah, Jessen needs the takedown, and he needs a few seconds of riding time as well. He can't let Lyon escape. But Jessen got that takedown in the first period. This one not over by a long shot, as Jessen continues to try to work.
We see Lyon continually backing out of these ties. I think the refs see that as well, and I think they're going to be looking for a stall call. Jack's doing a really good job of closing the gap here.
Yeah, every time they disengage, it seems to be Lyon the one disengaging.
Good re-attack on Lyon's part, keeping Jack's head down, getting the hamstring, and getting behind him. And now, it's a dogfight we've got.
Yeah.
6-2 with over a minute of riding time.
Yeah, Jessen's in a tough spot right here. He's got to turn it around in a hurry. And based on that riding time point, he's going to have to get more than just a takedown. which he would have had to do anyways. And now with Justin still stuck underneath, it might be that time where you're just trying to keep it away from major decision territory.
Yeah, Lyons riding a pretty tough single wrist right here. You can see he's coming out to a side. It's a really frustrating position to be for the bottom guy. You can put a lot of pressure on the shoulder. As we can see, he's getting out to the side, so there's really not a stall call to be given on top, and you can spend a lot of time riding there.
Lyon still working from on top, but looks content. Now, well, now he's turning him over. So going potentially for late near foul points, which could have turned it into a major decision, but Justin able to defend it. And time is going to run out here on this one. So with the riding time point, 7-2 the victory for Max Lyon. It's another decision victory for Purdue. They're up 17-10 now, and Northwestern going to need to win the last 2 bouts to have a shot here. Not going to be an easy task. You're facing the number 2 wrestler in the country at 197 in Christian Bruner. Though, like I said, Lucas Davison has given him more of a fight than just about anybody so far this season. Bruner, 20-2 on the year, the senior, one of a couple of really good seniors on this Purdue team out of East Dundee, Illinois, another local product. And he's going to take on Davison out of Chesterton, Indiana. A big-time matchup here. Like I said, these guys wrestled at CKLV. They wrestled at Midlands. Both times, Davison was only a few moves away, especially at Midlands. He lost 8-5 in the quarterfinals there, and it was about to go to an extra session. Bruner turned it around right at the end of that one. And now Davison, a chance to make up for that here. These two guys know each other really well. What does that change, Matt, when it's a guy you've already faced twice in the past month and you're about to face him here again?
I think for Bruner, it's a tough spot, especially knowing Lucas and his work ethic. Very methodical, very calculated, and I know for sure he's been making adjustments. I've seen it these past few weeks, making adjustments for matches like these. You know, there's definitely a target on Bruner's back, and right now Davison doing a good job controlling the center of the mat, being patient, calculated, as I said earlier, and on a beautiful leg attack early. That's what we like to see.
Davison going right after it. Standing Bruner up with a firm hold of that leg. Bruner in a lot of trouble here as Davison tries to fight him down to the ground.
We see 2 guys at 197, bigger guys. We're talking national average, but the athleticism we're seeing right now is unbelievable. Just the strength and the flexibility. Bruner doing an amazing job, really, of fighting that leg.
Davison staying on it, but Bruner able to fight through the backside. Referee calling him outside there as Bruner's right leg slipped to the wood.
Yeah.
Even though Davison's left leg was still in. And they'll have to reset. So a near takedown for Lucas Davison, but like you said, Bruner, so agile, so flexible in there, able to work his way out of it.
And those are the positions that win matches, even though Lucas didn't score there. It's stressful and it's tiring for Bruner. So, you know, even though there was no score from that, that was still a really big flurry. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of those this match.
We're going to try to shoot. Davison got on top for a second. And is trying to battle out. They got the arms locked there on Davison's right side.
Yep, Bruner digging a deep left underhook. Seems to be very talented from that position, getting his hips in and circling to that side. Lucas did a good job clearing it there, partly because he was putting a lot of weight on that underhook and also maintaining good head position.
And the Purdue coaches had wanted Bruner to get back on it. He sort of backed out. And now Davison in an interesting position here. With Bruner holding onto his right leg. Davison with the body weight on top of his neck.
You can see Bruner's forehead on his bicep there, giving it. When a wrestler's in that position, they still have the opportunity to get their hips in. It's when your head gets caught in between your biceps where it's a little bit harder to do that.
Now Bruner's got that double underhook.
Lucas did a really good job fighting from that position, pushing off the knees.
And Davison clears it. So 30 seconds away. No scoring here in the first. We've seen a lot less scoring in these matchups with the heavyweights since we crossed the 157-pound mark. But we've seen a lot of action nonetheless. Don't let the scoreboard fool you. Both of these guys have been putting in work in this first period.
Absolutely. Really great first period we've seen. Offense from both guys.
And now scrambling through. And they're going to, Northwestern wanted the stall call on Bruner right there. They thought he dragged Davison out of the circle. Instead, the referee does not assign any blame. Resets him back in the middle, and that'll do it for this first period. So could have been a big stall call there.
Tied up, no score.
No call given. And I got to check out Bruner's eyes, it looks like.
I think it's his nose. I think he's just got a cut on his nose. I saw a little bit
little cut on the nose, like you said.
Little
got to make sure that's not actively bleeding.
Yeah, you can see on the back of Lucas's singlet there's a little bit of blood. Nothing crazy. Just wipe it.
So Davison chooses to start underneath here. Quick escape would be big. Neither guy has spent any time.
Great
Riding.
quarter turn to a tripod there. Bruner putting a lot of forward pressure. You can see he's driving forward. The weight on Lucas's his right hand.
Yep. Through that right knee as well with the lower body.
Lucas did a great job. The reason
And
Lucas
then he
got out
gets
there
out
was
of
staying
there.
on his feet. He stayed on his feet even with a lot of pressure, and he was able to, slowly work his way back.
Yeah, you mentioned
Fight
that
that
tripod
pressure.
position. Went down to the hands, but the feet stayed up. And a crucial escape. Davison only gives up 19 seconds of riding time. These three have come down to the wire all 3 times they've wrestled. It's not going to be any different tonight. Davison and Bruner, 2 of the best in the class, certainly. Regardless of what the rankings say, just based on the way Lucas Davison wrestles, against Christian Bruner specifically, you can see that he is up there in terms of talent, in terms of work ethic with the top guys in this class.
Yeah, in each match, he's been closing the gap.
Now they're working outside. Bruner fights him out there, and they're going to reset it.
Good consistency on the ref's part, calling, not calling a stalemate, or I'm sorry, a stalling call there.
Yeah. Because you mentioned a couple times earlier, we saw with the near fall too. You were saying another ref might have called it, but overall the refs have been, they've been lenient to call the near falls. They've been lenient to call the stalls, and they've been consistent both ways with that. That's
absolutely the consistency
all you can ask
is
for.
Key. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And yeah, you were saying it earlier. Matt, wrestling is such a unique sport in that way. When it all comes down to the officials, only a few other sports like that. Gymnastics, figure skating come to mind, but when you got it like that, you need to have consistency if nothing else. And we have certainly had that tonight. So Davison still with the 1-point lead as we head towards the end of this second period. Davison slips 3, and that'll halftime expire. So the 1-0 lead for Lucas Davison after the second period. Only one bout to go. Again, Northwestern needs the win to have a chance against Purdue. But perhaps more importantly, a potential marquee win. A statement win for Lucas Davison if he can hold on to that lead through the third period. But an escape from Bruner would tie things up, and he's close to getting it. Looked like he was just about out, but Davison gets back on top. Bruner maybe looking for a reversal.
Yeah, rather than working for his escape, he looked like he switched him into a leg.
Yeah,
Lucas doing a great job
Yeah.
here, keeping a lot of pressure forward, not getting frustrated, staying calm, cool, and collected in that position. Similar tripod up for both guys. What worked was, we're going to see it right here. Good mat return, pressure forward. This is a huge ride for Lucas right now. He's doing a great job, and it looks like
And Davison's
Bruner's
staying on
pretty
top.
tired.
Now they get outside, not going to call the stall. Bruner, you can see he's getting gas, like you said. Davison has worked to a 31-second riding time advantage. If he can stay on top for 29 more seconds, it won't matter if Bruner gets the escape. So the next 30 seconds is crucial here. It's a lot to ask, but if Davison can stay on top for 30 more seconds, he would earn that riding time point, and it wouldn't matter if the escape comes. Bruner's been close to getting out a couple of times now. Crowd's starting to get loud. Davison staying on there.
This is the advantage, of being home. You've got a home crowd.
Yeah, the crowd getting behind him.
This is huge right here. Very, very important.
16 seconds away from getting that minute of riding time. You can't see it on your scoreboard. We got it here in the arena. 16 more seconds of being on top. and Davison would have the riding time point potentially. Still working on Bruner. You can see Davison just giving everything to stay on him. Turns him over again. He's a couple of seconds away, 3-4 seconds away from getting there. Bruner knows that he's trying to fight out. Lucas Davison has the riding time point, and now they work all the way out to the wood. What a job by Lucas Davison staying on top of the number 2 wrestler in the country, but now Bruner slow to get up. And he took a hard spill out there. And they're going to take a break here. Purdue athletic trainer's going to come over to look at him.
It did look like he...
We're going to see the replay right here, I think, as Davison pushes him outside. He goes down hard on that shoulder. It didn't look like Christian Bruner's head hit the ground, which is, of course, what you're worried for in that situation when they get outside the mat.
Yeah, obviously we wish the
At
best
least not on first contact, but...
Yeah, it looked like there might have been some ricochet there.
Yeah, for sure.
Hit the mat elbow, or hit the hardwood floor elbow first, and then it looked like there was a little bit of ricochet with the head. Obviously, we get worried with those injuries, but...
Bruner back up quickly. Definitely a warrior. He's got another cut, it looks like, up in the facial area.
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised by that. I think the reason we saw... So, Lucas had choice of position here for the injury time.
Yeah, so like you said, after the injury stoppage, Davison chooses to go back underneath, even though he had the riding time point. And now, that's smart by the Purdue coaches, telling Bruner to get back up after he had gotten the riding time back under a minute. So Davison gets the escape, and he's up 2-1, but he doesn't have the riding 2-0, but he doesn't have the riding time point anymore. Bruner needs a takedown. 20 seconds, and Bruner gets the 2-point takedown. Davison.
Wow, unbelievable.
That's
a reversal.
Incredible move from Davison. The Northwestern coach is asking for the reversal. They didn't give it to him. The count is coming now. The referee's counting. Time expires. The referee counted. Is he going to award any points?
I'm happy.
Northwestern coaches cannot believe that the reversal wasn't granted there.
Yeah.
As you can see on the replay, we just showed it, Davison turning him over, and they're going to look at it. They're going to take a look. So we got the look here, and then you can see Davison. And now we got a count coming from the official. You can see Purdue fans in the background motioning for no call on the potential reversal. A reversal or escape would have won it for Davison. If not, we're going to an extra period. Again, so let's just recap what happened in that last minute. So Bruner goes down. We'll take a look at this replay one more time here after the potential reversal. But you've seen it a couple times now. After Bruner goes down injured, Davison had the riding time advantage. He has choice of position. He chooses to go underneath to potentially get the escape. And Bruner does enough to get the riding time back under a minute before allowing the escape from Davison, which gives Davison the 2-0 advantage. Then Bruner got the takedown, and Davison working for the reversal. So the question I have for you, Matt, is do you question the decision at all for Davison going underneath after with the choice of position and giving up that riding time advantage even as he got the escape point? It might not have mattered in the end because Bruner needed a takedown either way, and he would have had a chance to get his takedown either way.
I mean, so we did see an escape on Lucas's part in that second period, I believe.
Right.
And we saw there was a pretty intense flurry towards the end. So I think from a coach's perspective, it looked like Lucas could score.
Right.
And I think they believed in him, and he believed in himself in that position. Got a little tricky towards the end.
And he almost did score at the very end. So
he did.
Certainly, I mean, definitely can't blame Davison for the amount of effort he showed in that third period. And got to give Bruner all the credit as well. That's what a top-level wrestler does. You need a takedown at the end, you get your takedown. The referee's still looking at this. Potentially would be awarding Davison points for the reversal. Instead, we're going to if it doesn't happen, we're going to the extra session.
The previous call on the match stands.
It stands. So no evidence to either overturn
Victory overtime period.
or or confirm the call on the floor. But this is where it all counts here. A takedown would be vital. 1 minute overtime period. Any sort of points at this juncture that's pretty much it.
Lucas doing a great job here. Wow, unbelievable. Cheating that ankle out, putting a lot of pressure on Bruner's head right now. He's eager for this takedown. It's certainly been the most
tense match of the night. And you can hear the Northwestern coaches screaming for two, and they give him the two. Lucas Davison with the takedown of the extra session. 28 seconds to go in OT. And that will do it. The challenge, of course, comes in for Purdue. What do you have to lose at this point? Only one match to go. Let's look at the replay right here. The takedown call came right after this. Northwestern coaches were yelling for it. You can see Davison sort of maneuvering himself on top of Bruner, and that's when the call came. And Bruner couldn't believe it. Neither guy has gone to their bench so far. The challenge came in. Video review could overturn it. Matt, what did you see when we looked at that replay?
To be honest, I was just smiling and looking at Lucas. I was not paying attention whatsoever.
Would be a huge win for Davison. This is, and we'll look at it again right here. Davison on top.
Yeah, going back to the third period. You hate to see refs decide matches. So although, I'm rooting for Northwestern, I do have to say I'm happy that if I were in Purdue's position looking on this match from their perspective, I would be really upset if a ref decided that match. I'm glad we got to see an overtime period. I think both guys had a lot of wrestling left in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, oh man.
So again, we're waiting on the replay. Incredible match all the way through. Call on the floor, Lucas Davison got the takedown to earn the sudden death victory in overtime. Referee still looking at it. Last review in that third period, the call stood, and certainly not a lot on that video to potentially overturn whatever they saw on the floor. So the ref's coming back out. They throw the challenge break to the side. And the victory will go the way of Lucas Davison. A massive win for Lucas Davison against the #2 wrestler in the country at 197 in Christian Bruner. Lucas Davison has a marquee win. This is a win that will get him some national recognition. Davison nearly beat him twice already, and now here at Welsh Ryan Arena in front of his home crowd, Lucas Davison gets the huge decision victory. It cuts the lead to 17-13. So in order to come out with, to tie things up, or to even come out with a victory, Northwestern needs at least a major decision from the redshirt first year, Jack Hyab. Now, Hyab not necessarily the guy that you would expect it from. Hyab 0-5 on the season so far, has not won as an attached wrestler during his Northwestern career. He's got a chance to overturn that in a big way against Thomas Panola of Purdue here. Panola, the redshirt freshman out of Zionsville, Indiana.
And if we're looking at size, we see, for heavyweight, the weight is 285. However, these guys look pretty evenly matched, I'd say. I think that's been Jack's biggest struggle of the year, just getting to leg attacks on those bigger guys. There's a lot of power here, though. It's exciting. These guys are high-paced. We can tell from the start.
Right.
They're engaged in a pretty tough hand fight right now, and I think it's going to be really big for both of them to get to their offense off a hand fight. You're not going to score from just a snap. It's going to be a snap and then, whether that be, snap to a front head, a snap to a sweep single. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys pull out of their back pocket to work for those takedowns.
You mentioned it at heavyweight. Those weights can be so disparate. The weight is 285, but there's no class between 197 and 285. So anybody who's well above 197, you're wrestling heavyweight. That can be anywhere from 230, 240, all the way up to the max. But like you said, both of these guys certainly look evenly matched in that weight category. And that pace continues to be high. Hybe getting a lot of pressure on the top of his head here from Panola.
One thing Panola's doing really well right now is digging the inside tie. And from that inside tie, it's leading to a lot of things. Right now he's working an underhook on the right side. And he's got, like you said, a lot of pressure on the top of Jack's head, putting a lot of weight on his feet, heavy feet.
Panola, 14-8 this season, has done a lot of wrestling in his redshirt freshman year. Local product out of Zionsville. Local to Purdue, I should say. And this is the decider. Northwestern has put itself in a good position to get to this point, but now Panola with a firm grasp of that right ankle, and he battles his way through for a 2-point takedown, and now Hayab in a really tough position, especially at heavyweight when all that weight's on top of you. Tough to battle out of that takedown. Hayab was up to his feet for a time there, but then Panola able to wrestle him right back down.
Yep, Jack's got to keep moving for these last 30 seconds, you know. These bigger guys, they can wear on each other. And, you know, a lot of times you'll see a very different wrestle in the third period from the first. You know, getting ridden out is not the position he needs to be in right now in order to win this match.
One thing we have seen down the stretch, a lot of close ones. Haven't seen a major decision since Ryan Deacon took one at 157 over Kendall Coleman. Since then, it's been all decisions all the way. A lot of really close matchups as wrestlers are called to restart in the middle of the circle here. That's what's kept this one pretty close. Purdue 17, Northwestern 13. As we are in the midst of the final bout of the night. Time expires on the first period. Panola with a 51-second riding time advantage and the 2-0 lead after the takedown. And he'll start underneath Hayab in the second period.
And this is a great opportunity to rack up some back points here for Hayab, putting together a good ride.
Hayab using that headlock.
Looking for a Merkle there. We've got a wrestler last year, Zach Jaconis. The Merkle is a special. Shout out, Zach. Unfortunately, we didn't get it there.
Instead, it's an escape for Panola. He gets out to the 3-0 lead. Hayab still battling through. Trying to fight his way out of his opponent's grasp here. And it's more of the same from the first period with Panola putting all that pressure on the top and on the feet, like you were saying. Now Panola pushes him right outside, and the stall call comes. I think they're going to get Hayab there, though, for backing out. So stall warning against Hayab. A minute to go in the second period. Trying to bounce back from the deficit. Hayab looking for his first win of the season, whether wrestling in a duel or unattached. He's 0-5.
Panola's looking for picks here. We saw he picked the right side. I think that's the third tack now. And this should be very close to a takedown
For Hayab.
Wow.
Now it's turned around. Quickness from Panola was really impressive right there. He's got the 5-0 lead. So it looked like Hayab had that locked in with the arm across the chin right there. Panola just able to slip out. Now Hayab looking for the escape. He's got to take the arms away. And Panola drives him back into the mat.
Yep, good awareness there by Panola. He realized, he wasn't going to get the lift. And he transitioned right to a double.
Panola ends both of the first two periods on top of Hayab. He's up 5-0. Jack Hayab looks gassed as we start the third period. Not easy in heavyweight wrestling to have that weight on you. Panola's got the riding time advantage. Now Hayab trying to work into it.
Jack's got a deep leg on the right side here, looking to turn him with a power half. He needs to break his base. Panola just really powerful.
And it's a reversal for Panola. Turns it over, and he's got the 7-0 lead, closing in on potentially a major decision victory over Jack Hayab. Looking for a nice ending for Purdue here. Boilermakers looking to go to 8-1 as we open Big Ten play. Already ranked 6th as a team in the Flow Wrestling rankings, but they haven't made quite as much noise in the duels as they have in the tournaments so far this season.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Panola just not giving Hayab any room to maneuver right here. He has now locked in that riding time point. Not a lot for Jack Hayab to do other than try to fight his way out of a major decision. "30 seconds to go." Panola closing out another victory. Both these teams have bouts this weekend against really strong opponents. Purdue will be facing the #1 team in the country in the Iowa Hawkeyes on Sunday at home back at West Lafayette. Big matchup here for these Boilermakers. Big test for a resurgent Purdue team who's ranked in the top 10 in any of the 4 major rankings for the first time since 1998. And the Boilermakers prove why they're in the top 10 with the dual win closed out by Panola.